Hi, in this video I'll help you get to know your car a little better. At the end of this video I've put together a straightforward infographic that summarizes all the key points. Like, subscribe and comment below. It really helps.
So, your Chevy's check engine light is on and it's throwing a P0443 code. Hey, don't sweat it. In the next few minutes we're going to break down exactly what that code means and we'll lay out a clear, step-by-step plan to get it fixed. Let's dive right in.
Oh man, we've all been there, right? That little orange light pops up on the dashboard and your heart just sinks. It feels so vague, but for code P0443, we can get super specific. So let's turn that feeling of uncertainty into a solid plan. All right, so that warning light, think of it as the first clue in a mystery. It's your car's main computer, often called the ECM, basically shouting, "Hey, pay attention, I found something you need to look at." And in our mystery, the specific clue we're following is diagnostic trouble code P0443. Yeah, it's like the computer isn't just saying there's a problem, it's giving you the exact chapter and verse. This code is our key to figuring out what's really going on under the hood.
Okay, so what is this P0443 code actually trying to tell us? Let's cut through all the technical jargon and find out what's really happening with your car's emission system. Whoa, that is a mouthful, isn't it? But trust me, it's not nearly as complicated as it sounds. All it really means is that your car's computer has found a glitch, an electrical problem, in the circuit for a very specific emissions part. And here's the best way to think about it. The EVAP system is basically your car's way of safely dealing with its own fuel fumes. To prevent pollution. It captures raw gasoline vapors from the tank. The P0443 code means something's wrong with the little gatekeeper that decides when and how those fumes get safely burned by the engine.
And get this, what's really wild is how sensitive this system is. Your car's computer is incredibly fast. If it tells that circuit to do something, but it sees a mismatch for just a quarter of a second, boom, that's all it takes to trigger the check engine light. It's a very, very precise system.
All right, so we know the problems in that EVAP control circuit, but what part of it is the actual culprit? Let's start our investigation with the number one usual suspect.
When you get a P0443 code, you're usually looking at one of four main suspects. We've got a faulty part called the purge solenoid, an actual leak in the fuel tank, a pressure sensor that's gone bad, or maybe a little vacuum leak somewhere in the system.
But here's the most important thing you need to know. The biggest takeaway from all of this. In the vast majority of cases, like 9 times out of 10, the reason you're seeing this code is because the EVAP purge solenoid itself has failed. This part should always be your number one suspect.
So what does this little guy even do? Well, just think of it as that gatekeeper we talked about. It's a small valve, and its only job is to open and close at exactly the right time. When it opens, it lets all those trapped fuel vapors get sucked into the engine and burned off cleanly. But if that gate gets stuck open, or stuck shut, or has an electrical issue, the whole system fails and triggers the code. Okay, but what if you check that solenoid and it seems fine? Well, we can't just stop there. Any good detective investigates every lead, right? So let's take a look at the other, less common suspects.
So what else could it be? Well, you could have a physical crack in the fuel tank, or hey, it could even be something as simple as a loose gas cap messing with the system's pressure. Another possibility is the pressure sensor itself is just feeding the computer bad information. Or you could be hunting for a tiny crack or a disconnected rubber vacuum hose somewhere.
And it's really important to get the difference here. A bad sensor is an electronic problem. It's basically lying to your car's computer. A leak, on the other hand, is a physical problem. The system itself is broken somewhere. And the tricky part? Both of these totally different issues can trigger the exact same P0443 error code. Okay, so we understand the system, we've got our lineup of suspects. Now for the most important part, what you actually do next. Let's lay out a clear action plan.
All right, first things first. Whatever you do, don't just ignore this light. Seriously, it's way more than just an annoying little light on your dash. I mean, besides failing an emissions test, a bad EVAP system can cause other real problems, like a rough idle or even making it hard to start your car right after you get gas. Taking care of it now can save you from much more expensive repairs down the road.
So, here's your game plan, your logical path to finding the fix. Step 1. Always start with the most likely cause. That means you inspect and test the EVAP purge solenoid first. If that checks out, then you can broaden your search. You'll want to carefully check all the vacuum lines for cracks, make sure the fuel tank and gas cap are sealed up tight, and finally, you can test the pressure sensor to make sure it's not the one causing the trouble.
And this, right here, is really the main point of this whole explainer.
Please, don't just start throwing parts at the problem hoping something sticks. The whole goal is to accurately find that one root cause. A proper diagnosis is what makes for a quick, effective, and, much cheaper repair.
So there you have it. That check engine light isn't a mystery anymore, is it? It's just the first clue in your investigation. You know the suspects, you've got a clear plan of attack, now you can get out there, start with the most likely culprit, and get this case solved.